Hello guys, it's Marco again, and this time it's patch 7.1.5 and there have been slight changes to assassination, builds and rotation, but it's not drastical at all. We got a 5% crit nerf, which is not so much, but again it affects you but only a bit. But you won't even notice the crit nerf because the abilities of Assassination are buffed by 6% in damage. I mean, overall average of buffing abilities. And the difference now in talents is that you won't take Elaborate Planning, but Master Poisoneer. Like, Elaborate Planning is still good, but Master Poisoneer pulls off ahead like for 4k DPS. Which isn't such a big difference, but yeah. But it does work with Bag of Tricks and the Poison Bomb, and increases the damage of the Poison Bomb. So if you have good RNG, it's going to be even a bigger difference. And now at the third row, you don't want to take a deeper stratagem, just because, I don't know, it feels clunky. And from all my testings, like I tested it for like 3 hours on dummies, Vigor is a way to go. Like for 40k difference, it is a really big difference. I don't know why, because Elaborate Planning didn't get, Deeper Stratagem didn't get such a big nerf. It's only got 5% nerf, but it feels much more nerfed. I don't know why. That's why I tested it for like a long time. And now I changed a bit my WeakAuras, just so I can have my Surge of Toxins instead of Elaborate Planning, because I'm not going to use Elaborate Planning. It's basically the same thing with Elaborate Planning. You need to wait 5 seconds between using Envenom again or Rupture, just so you don't overstack your buffs and therefore losing a bit of your DPS. Now for the rotation, it's going to stay relatively the same. The difference is 5 combo points and the fact that you have Vigor now, so your Vendetta will refill more energy and you're going to get more energy and therefore more Mutilates. But again, you don't want to use Envenom at 3 combo points anymore. You want to use it at least 4 combo points, preferably 5. And a good thing about Rupture is that combo points don't matter now, it only increases the duration. So you want to have maximum duration Rupture only with Vanish. And you don't want to overstack your combo points, but it's fairly easy, so that's the hardest part of the Assassination, not to overstack your combo points. So the rotation is pretty normal. You start off with Garrot into Mutilate, into Rupture, but I can't Vanish here because the recount will reset. But again, you're going to see that I'm trying to fill my Envenom at the last second of the buff, which used to be Elaborate Planning, but it's Surge of Toxins now. And I forgot to mention that they nerfed Master Assassin trait, which reduced Vendetta cooldown. It had 60 seconds reduced cooldown on Vendetta when you had 6 rank, so all 3 relics into it, but it only reduces for 48 seconds now. But it sucks for the guys who don't have legendary boots, but if you have legendary boots, you won't even feel a difference. It's going to be even better because it's going to line up perfectly with your King's Bane. So for rotation, I'm going to do it again, but I want to talk about legendaries now. So you want the boots because they didn't get buffed or nerfed, and before they were already in top 3, like on some fights they were even the best. So the boots are the best legendary at the moment because Bracers got nerfed, and Ring is still very good because it didn't get nerfed. Only Outlaw version of it got nerfed, I think. And Cloak is also very good for a fan of knife damage. But again, you should want to have legendary boots and legendary ring, I still don't know what to think about legendary Trinket, but if you have sucky Trinkets, obviously it's going to be better than something else. But it all depends on your gear at the moment. And the new legendary, the shoulders, are quite trash for Assassination at least, and Outlaw, just because 6 seconds of 100% crit when you already have 40% constant crit, and you're going to get that buff for only like every 2 minutes, which is nothing special. Now the rotation, you want to start off by pre-potting, then going for Garrot, Mutilate, Rupture, Mutilate into Envenom, and when you have 0 energy you want to use Vendetta to refill your full energy, and right after it Kingsbane, and then just continue with keeping your Garrot up and Rupture up. And good thing is now that you I'm going to use such a random ruptures just because you can do it now, because it only increases the more combo points only increase the duration of rupture, not its damage. And just look at Surge of Toxins as if that is elaborate planning, so exactly the same thing, but the only difference is actually the icon. And now, as you can see, I'm going to get my Vendetta soon off cooldown, and then I'm just going to use, after I use Vendetta, I'm just going to use my Kingsbane. And the nerf to Master Assassin isn't that visible, just because before I was waiting on with my Vendetta to use Kingsbane with it. But now you're going to wait for Vendetta to use Kingsbane, but for like half a second, so there isn't really much difference into it. Now, as you can see on the meter, the overall damage for Assassination has been improved, so like I can keep up with 570k DPS, which is pretty great, and it's a relatively big difference between the old Assassination, because it was hard for me to keep 500k on the dummy, so around 50k buff at least for me, because the last time when I was testing with Assassination on dummy I had a bit lower gear. So that's all I got for this video, 7.1.5 Assassination. I'm going to do Outlaw guide, but sadly since I made the Outlaw guide on PTR, Outlaw has been severely nerfed legendary wise, so the ring and the bracers, which were the most overpowered legendaries for Outlaw, got a really big nerf. Like ring got nerfed for 40%, so it doesn't do 20% cone damage anymore, it does 12% cone damage. And Outlaw bracers were at first buffed by 100% on PTR, but then they were, every time the new build came, they were nerfed, and they said that they're going to stay at 300, but they're actually at 200 now. But I want to save something for my Outlaw video, so until next video guys, take care.